feels like I'm licking a bit of wood out of a cold campfire. Hello and welcome to the Whisky Trials. Okay, so tonight I have this, the Glenlivet Founders Reserve. Now, I just got this from the co-op in my local village, and the co-op just now doing some really good deals. Constantly got some really good malts on offers. So let's get this bad boy cracked open. Oh wow, look. Did that quick. So this was 22 quid. It's no age on it, 40% volume, and Founders Reserve, like I said. So let's give this a wee taste. Got my Glencairn here. Okay, so let's just see what it says on the box. Colour, pale gold, yes. One can confirm this. Nose, delicate aromas of citrus fruit, notably sweet orange. I am getting a bit of citrus fruit, but I'm not entirely convinced by the sweet orange, but there is a definite citrusiness there. On the palate, sweet fruit notes of zesty oranges and pears with a hint of candy. Toffee apples, well balanced and exceptionally smooth. Finish, long, creamy and smooth. I was told once by a guy in a distillery that you weren't meant to describe whisky as smooth, but I've watched quite a lot of whisky reviews already, and everybody uses the word smooth because, well, it kind of isn't another word that just fits the bill as perfectly as smooth does. So let's just give it a try. Now that's quite an interesting one. It's got I thought I'd maybe had this before, which is, I wasn't sure, but I bought it as part of the reasons that I've started doing these videos, is so that I have my own record of what I've drunk, and if it was any good, because I forget. No, this is really nice. Oh yeah, just got the burn there. It does have a bit of a woodiness to it, but it's really not an overpowering woodiness that's there. I would say that this is very much in the realms of quite a tame whiskey. You know, so if you're a hardened whiskey drinker, or you like big strong flavours, if you like your heavy woods, heavy smoke, peatiness, man, this is just so not your thing. But as just a nice little tipple, you know, like a wee dram before you go to your bed, or you know, when you come home from work. It almost hits the spot, but not quite. It's a little bit on the mild side. I'm not getting the what did it say? Zesty oranges. There isn't a huge, and pears. No, I'm not getting any pears. No real sort of strong toffee notes either. It's just a little bit middle of the road. But maybe pour myself a little bit of a bigger one now. Oh wow, okay. Second pour. I'm getting the pears, like candied pears. Maybe because I'm not sticking my nose right in the glass, which they tell you not to do. Yeah, wow. Maybe it just needed a bit of time. Yep, definitely getting the smell of pears. It's still, yeah, it's still not quite there. I've got the smell, and there's definitely a slight zestiness there, but it's. Do you know when you get like a nice whiskey and you're tasting it and you think, I'll just add a bit of water to see if it releases any more flavours, you know, if it's like an oily one. This is what I've learned, by the way. I'm no whiskey expert. I've only been drinking it for, I don't know, 5 years or so. But I learned watching other whiskey reviews that if the whiskey is quite oily and you put some water in it, it's not, obviously the oils aren't water soluble, so they come to the top and it kind of splits it. So the next taste is really, really intense. Whereas if it's not oily and you put water in it, you're simply kind of watering it down. If though it does have quite a high alcohol content, what you'll find is that it can actually tame down that really strong alcohol flavour, and then you'll start getting the other notes in there. But what I'm getting at is this one. It kind of tastes like you've put some water in a whiskey, and it's killed a little bit of the flavours. You know, it's watered it down a little bit. It is just a bit mild. There's nothing like wow going on there. But you know, perfectly drinkable, very easily drinkable. I mean, for somebody that was maybe having an introduction to whiskey, again, it really depends on the individual's taste buds, but for the most part, I think that people maybe don't like the peaty ones and the smoky ones. And so something like this, to give somebody a little taster, to try and get them into whiskies, yeah, it could work. It's definitely a very light one. There's not too much of a burn. There's not a heavy alcohol taste. It's only got slight woodiness. So yeah, I mean, if somebody was looking to get into whiskies, this would be a reasonable start for them. Not the best, you know. I could think of better ones. Some of the ones I've had, but you know, for what it is, let's not forget this is like just over a 20 quid bottle of whiskey. I'm not sure what it was reduced from, but I got it for 22 quid. So you know, you're looking at, what's that? That's £2 over a bottle of White Mackay. Well, a litre of White Mackay is 20 quid. So, you know, this compared to the White Mackay, actually, here's one I prepared earlier. So this is a little bit of White Mackay, so let's just do a quick, because they're about the same price, let's just have a quick taste. Yeah, so what you tend to find with White Mackay is that it's easy enough to drink, but there's no real complexity of flavours. So there's no woodiness or anything. Where this at least does have a bit of woodiness to it. So yeah, not bad. Would I buy it again? I'm not sure, because like I said, if there's deals in and around the sort of £22 mark, you can be looking at stuff like Glenmorangie Sherry Cask. I'd like that one. And Glenkeith, that's pretty good as well. You know, all these kind of cheaper malts. Yeah, probably better than this. But you know, I wasn't sure if I'd actually tried this one or not, so I thought I'd give it a go. I'd actually like to try some other Glenlivets. I think just, you know, some aged ones that've got a proper age on them, and see what they're like. Alright, so also what I have, just change glasses here. I've only got 2 Glencairn glasses, so if anybody out there wants to send me a couple of Glencairns so I can do more tastings, that would be great. Right, okay, my other half, Sarah, might kill me for this, but this is the end of her Bowmore. We got this when we went over on holiday recently in the duty free. So it's the Bowmore, age 10 years, dark and intense. Intense depth from the marriage of Spanish oak sherry casks and hogsheads. Right, okay. That shows my lack of whiskey knowledge right there. I've got no idea what hogsheads is. It's got some tasting notes on the back here. Savour the intense, fiery depths of a baked Seville orange. Toasted maple, peat-smoked walnuts imparted from rich Spanish oak casks. Alright, it sounds good. I can tell you something though. I'm not a fan, but it was one of the only other whiskies I've got in the house. So I thought I'd just give it a little taste of this. I better not take it all. Casera al matarme. Love that sound. E. Alright. Stick that there. Get the brand in it. Alright. So, Bowmore. Okay. So, to let you into the kind of whiskey drinker I am, it's much more the sort of sweeter finishes, the sherry casks. I like stuff that has been in multiple casks. I don't like the stuff that's been in bourbon casks for too long. I prefer if it started with bourbon and then maybe moved up. Like my like absolute best would be starting a bourbon, move to a port, and then finishing in a sherry. That'd be the one. Okay, but this. Do you know what? It smells okay. Obviously it's got the smoke, but I'm getting the wood. I'm getting the earthiness. So it's a much more complex one. This, or it's a much. It's got a much. There's a lot more going on. So if you like a whiskey that's, got a lot more going on, and you like the smokiness, the kind of little bit of peat, then this one might just float your boat. But I don't actually think you can get this in the shops. I think you can only get it in the duty free. Alright, let's sit back. Wow, let me taste this one. There is something that I like about a lightly smoked one. And do you know what? After you've had something like the Glenlivet, and then you move on to something like this, I think you can appreciate it a little bit more. I think sometimes when I start with something like that, I'm like, yeah, it's too smoky, or I find I've got, personally, I think I've got quite a good sense of smell and a good sense of taste. And any kind of smokiness or peatiness, if it's quite strong, that's all I get, because it overwhelms my taste buds, I think, and my nose. But this one's quite light, so I can almost enjoy it. It's not unpleasant on the nose, it's okay. Now, if I was to compare it to something that isn't a malt, it would be like Black Bottle. It's got that slight bit of smoke in it. It's slightly more complex than your White and Mackays and stuff. Yeah. Do you know what? If you're into that kind of thing, I think do you know what it is? It's like a middle ground. So it's not like as wow as a Lafroig, like, if you either really like it or maybe you don't. Personally, I don't, obviously, because it's, a very peaty one, quite smoky one. It's like a bridge, isn't it?
It's bridging the gap between the sweeter ones and the smokier, peatier ones. And you know what? It does a pretty good job. Yeah, it's got some legs on it as well. Seems like a pretty decent whiskey.
Yeah, dark and intense. I don't think I'd go that far. You know, for me, like the likes of Lafroig's and whatnot would be the dark and intense. And I'm sure Bowmore do more dark and intense than this. But yeah, it's not bad. I'm sorry, burping here. I'm slightly. Yeah, when I first said to him, I thought I didn't like it. Now I'm, you know, I don't. Yeah, it's the thing. I always come back to: would I buy it again? Would I buy it again? No, because there's better ones. Or there's ones that I like more. Not better ones. Ones that I like more. It's personal preference. That's what whiskey's all about. Personal preference. Yeah, last little sip there, I got a real sweetness. I got a real. No, it was oh, there you go, toasted maple. Yeah, smoky maple. Yeah, it was like a real syrupiness I got there. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, well, I've left a little bit for Sarah. Shouldn't kill me too much for that. Okay, but right. So I don't actually have any of this left, but this was bought for me by my sister and her boyfriend. It was something that I've never had before. Why is it always the? Why did I always put the? The Glenlivet, the Glendronach. But this, 12 years, matured in a combination of the finest Pedro Ximenez and Oloroso sherry casks. Easy for me to say. The appearance, deep amber, red gold, nose, sweet, creamy vanilla with hints of ginger, autumn fruits. Palate is rich, creamy, silky smooth, warm, rich oak and sherry sweetness. Full mouth feel, raisins, soft fruits, spicy with medium length and dry finish. That sounds like, there's a lot going on in the palate. And as you can see, look, there's a tiny wee bit left in there. I'm gonna get this out. I might even just swig it out of the bottle, because I don't want to put it in these glasses. So there's a lot going on the palate, or you think there's maybe too much going on. But I tell you what, there it is. It's so good, this Glendronach, and I can tell you the palate is as complex as that. If you sit and you like every time I was having a nip of it changed. I don't know, maybe depending on how long I left it, or like if it was like the first one out the bottle, or like the 10th. I never put any water in it. I just drank it as it is, and I guarantee you, if you're into your sweeter ones, the sherry casks, like I am, but you want something with this kind of like a real, and you've got a good sense of taste, and you want a complexity to your whiskey, this could be the one. So I think maybe most whiskey drinkers have got a top 5. I certainly do. I'm not quite sure what my top 5 is. Like, if you ask me what my top 5 is, I normally tell you about 3 of them. But I'd never tried this, and this immediately went into my top 5. It says here, the finish is long, full and firm, and slightly nutty. It is all of those things and more. It is absolutely fantastic for a 12-year-old. My sister's boyfriend reliably informs me that the 15-year-old is possibly even more superb, you would think. Hopefully it is.
and it's coming on sale soon. I think you can only maybe get it from the distillery. So, where is the distillery? I mean, my sister stays north of Aberdeen. There you go. Forg by Huntley, Aberdeenshire, Scotland. AB54 6DB, just in case you want to go there and put it in your sat nav. Glendronach. It is, honestly, I'm going to just put myself out there and say that I might even put that in my top 2? Top 3. I don't know. Definitely top 5. Anyway, it's really good. What else is in my top 5? I hear you cry in all the comments that I'm going to get in this video. Session of it.
But, okay, so let's get rid of that. So we talked about Glendronach. Man, if you can get it, if you're near the distillery or if you know somebody that sells it, if you can find it online, buy it. I highly recommend it. 12-year-old, excellent. Apparently 15-year-old, even better. I don't know, I think the 15-year-old is between 50 and 75 quid. So this one must be in the realms of 35, 40, whatever. But so yeah, let's get back to the Glenlivet. I don't know.
Now that I've been into whiskey for a while, it feels like it's not quite cutting the mustard, and I'm trying to think of other Glenlivets that I've had which might have cut the mustard, and I can't. Yeah, I can't. I'm thinking. See, there's so many Glens, you get confused. It's got some of the things that make whiskey good. It's got a bit of wood, a bit of sweetness. Do you know what? Let's rephrase that. It's got some of the things that make whiskey good for me, right? Because everybody's different. People like different stuff. I need to stop, saying that my way is the highway, as it were. So it does have things that I like in a whiskey. So it's got the woodiness. It's got a bit of sweetness. It's got a bit of this. It's got a bit of that. You know what it is? It's just got a bit of everything. It's a little bit. It's just not nailed it. But it is what it is. It is a cheap, non-aged bottle of whiskey, and yeah, it's all right. It's all right. Do I regret spending my £22 on it? A little bit. A little bit. Because, do you know what? I know that I like Glenkeith. But it's similar. They're all... Do you know what? I'm going to get... I think I should do a video on the sort of budget stuff. Because Glenkeith, this, and Glenmoray, quite similar in certain ways. They're not mega. Excuse me. But then you're not paying for mega, so you don't expect mega. So what's the best of the bunch, right? So what's the best you can get for like under 25 quid? And I'm pretty sure this might have been over 25 quid. It was 22 quid in a deal, so it's normally over 25 quid, I'm sure. I wouldn't pay over 25 quid for this. I wouldn't. And I know for a fact that Glenmoray is normally always around 20 to 24 quid. And I'll buy that consistently. If I see it at like 22 quid, I'll buy it. Interestingly enough, or maybe not, it depends what you find interesting, but the Old Pulteney recently has been heavily discounted in the co-op. Quite often from Christmas last year. It's been really heavily discounted, and I've not enjoyed it as much. I don't know if they're like, I don't know if they know it's like a slightly different tasting batch, so they're like, discount it, get it out, get it drunk. We've got a better one coming. Maybe, I don't know. God damn, conspiracy theories in whiskey. Yeah? That is potentially another video, or perhaps it's an interview with the guys there. I mean, I'm totally up for doing that. I hope you enjoyed this episode of the Whiskey Trials. I'm going to be doing lots more. I'm going to be mixing it up with different people. I'm going to try and get in some pubs. I'm going to try and get in some distilleries. I'm going to try and get more Glencairn glasses so I can taste more stuff. I'm going to get my girlfriend involved. I'm going to get my work colleagues involved. Generally, what I want to do with these things, with these videos, is get people more involved in whiskey.